Okay, this will be challenging. It's retro. It's something retro, even though it was sold back then. We'll soon find out what this thing is. This thing, which, yeah, it's not actually retro, but it was from that time, a certain time. And yeah, it's still in its packaging. It's an interesting one. You don't want it too light. Actually, we just want most of the contrast. Okay, let's see what it is. It is Santa's Wonderland scatters. So these scatters are year 2000. So it's not actually retro as such because it's still in the bag, but you could call this a retro demo, even though this is not retro. This is this I assume is the original. Your 2000 or the beginning of the noughties. I do like a lot of the music they had around that time. It had a certain funk to it. You had, like, I think Jamiroquai. I don't know if Jamiroquai was performing in the year 2000, but he was certainly in the early noughties. That sort of funk, that sounds like the 70s retro. Noughties, I was really sad during the noughties. I wasn't happy. But basically, yeah, they had some good music, like, Daft Punk. Who could forget Daft Punk? That was really good. Anyway, that looks interesting, but it's not quite what I'm after, and I don't like that edge there. But basically, yeah, Daft Punk were big in the early noughties. Daft Punk. Let's try and move these around a bit, folks. But basically, Daft Punk was huge. Again, I don't think he was big in the actual year 2000, but the early 2000s, like 2002, they were pretty major. Yeah, that's a lot better, a lot more even. You can see more of the flashes of colour, and there's that nice one there. Well, I think we're going to enlarge a section out of that, perhaps. Year 2000. It was a year that I looked forward to when I was a child, but when it came round, I wasn't particularly a happy person. I really feared for my own future. I feared that I was going to die and go to an abyss, and it wasn't something to celebrate. So really wish I could have enjoyed 2000. Yeah, the 2000 Olympics we had as well, but I wasn't in the right mood to celebrate. I really wish I could go back in time, back to a time when I made a big mistake, and that was not getting married to a loved one called Luigi, and I made many blunders along the way afterwards, and I'm just trying to get this stuff on television, what I'm doing here, to make up for the fuck-ups that I did when I was very young. And it's not as easy as it looks, folks. So I'm trying to compete with coronavirus and the up and coming bushfire season, Australian bushfire season, which is not going to be easy. Trying to compete against these news entities that have become real go-tos for the TV channels. So I'm trying my best to get my stuff out there, and it just appears to be falling on deaf ears. I don't feel like I'm getting anywhere trying to compete with on the same plane as the same TV channels as the COVID-19. So I'm really I'm really finding this challenging, trying to get my stuff out there. Trying to compete as it seems almost futile, but I know it's not. I do feel that I can make a difference. Well, I'll be making a difference in the future when I build my own copier systems that are going to be artificially intelligent, and they're going to be made mostly out of, wherever possible, out of recycled materials instead of mined materials. We're going to use resources will come from places like India and China, renowned for their e-waste dumps. And we're going to exhume that junk and we're going to use it and clean up the environment while we manufacture. And also the workers, the factory workers and all the other workers are going to be paid a little bit more than what they're worth, instead of being treated like slaves. And incidentally, these equipments are going to be manufactured in an Australian factory on Australian soil. No made in China, no made in Vietnam. We are going to go and make this an Aussie company. And basically, we're not going to employ slaves. That's pretty much it. So you've got to make the world a better place. And also I'll be doing scientific experiments. I'll become not just a CEO, but a scientist, and we're going to find out how to correct the problems like climate change, how to end climate change, or how to clean up Fukushima without polluting other parts of the world, how to clean up Fukushima and the fuck up that was. So we've got all sorts of shit that we need to do to make the world a better place. And we've got to make sure that everyone has a fair go in this world. You know, not just the rich, not just the elite. We've got to give everyone a fucking fair go. Otherwise, what's the point in making money? Oh, sure, I'm going to have a lot of luxury, or maybe not that much, because I've decided I want to give away 95% of what I earn. So I don't want to have too much luxury for myself. I want to help others. I don't want to feel... to me, keeping the money to myself would make me feel like the wind was blowing through a hole in my heart. That's how I feel. I want to give. I want to help. I want to use my privilege and use it well. Use it for everyone, not just me. Not just fucking me. I don't want it to be me. I want to fucking help others. And yet the world isn't like that. Why? Why do we have such fuck shits rolling our industries like the photocopier industry? It's not like the year 2000. It was not the year of the future. We've got to make the future. We've got to bring back the future. Well, we can't go back to the future, but we can try and correct the mistakes we've made and ensure a brighter future, however further down the track it may be. So yeah, bring on the year 2000. What can I say? That looks really quite interesting. I think now we can call this demo quits.